Get a load of this insane situation happening in North Carolina that we were finding out about thanks to Ashley Palmer, who says that her son was roped into a mock slave auction for black students at his school. The auction involved literally selling black children by a slave master that was identified. She put up a post saying, "You never know what your babies might be going through. To say we've had a rough week is an understatement. Our son experienced a slave auction by his classmates, and when he opened up, we were made aware that this type of stuff seems to be the norm. So much that he didn't think it was worth sharing. His friend, quote, went for $350, and another student was the slave master because he, quote, knew how to handle them. We even have a video of students harmonizing the N-word. Since when were children so blatantly racist? Why is this culture accepted? Chatham County was made aware and is intervening, but hug your babies, especially the ones that are subject to racism by students and faculty. Parents teach your kids that this behavior isn't okay." Well, I don't know. Teaching lessons about how slavery is wrong is still legal in some places, but they're trying to stamp that out at the state level as much as they can. By the way, this school, you'll be shocked to find out, is overwhelmingly white, 65%, 14% of the students at J.S. Waters School are black. And the school is saying that they are taking it seriously now that it's generating a lot of national attention. But Brett, I don't know how something like this, is it possible that it was so private that they had no idea? That it's hard to imagine.
I don't understand. Was this in the context of a classroom, or was this just like, it's recess?
I don't know. The details there are not specific.
Okay, so here are the details that, like, okay, obviously when, like, in no situation is it okay to do this kind of stuff. There needs to be a moment when, I guess the frustrating thing for me is there are gonna be people saying that, like, this is against the freedom of the speech of 8-year-olds or however, middle schoolers to be terrible. And that's not okay. Because in the same breath, they're all gonna tell us that we need to be more disciplined and parent our children in ways that they believe is correct. But obviously this is horrible. And obviously it's also happened within the context of a lesson plan. In both those situations, you can't have it. And specifically when the teacher decides that they're gonna have a slave auction, unless they're going to, like, also have it play out with everyone, not just like, let's sell the black kids. Like, you have to understand how your kids are gonna handle that. Kids can be wildly terrible, and it's gonna backfire, and it's never gonna be taken in that way that you went. And I've talked to teachers, like, when they go into these kinds of things, they always tell me, like, when I first started teaching, I thought every one of my lessons was gonna be taken exactly the way that I wanted it to be. Even if you have the best of intentions, you have to account for the fact that these are immature kids.
Yeah, I would say don't do this, even if it's inclusive. And by the way, in terms of what the school can do, I'm not saying they should instantly tackle any kid who talks about this. I'm saying you have to be seen to be taking it seriously in terms of responding to it, teaching kids about these sorts of things. Particularly when, and very briefly, understand that the child who sort of started this by telling Ashley Palmer was apparently harassed by the former slave master. There's been retaliation, lies about him, so the situation is ongoing and bad. If the story seems familiar, it's because it is familiar. These sorts of things happen all the time. There was a story back just like 1 month ago about kids who created a Start Slavery Again petition. Newburgh High School had a virtual slave trade. We had a video about a black classmate being listed as a slave. Mock slave auctions seem to happen in at least one school a year if you search even casually in the news. So this is a thing that schools need to be aware of that occasionally crops up. They need to take it seriously and understand that kids understand what slavery was, how horrible it was, and that it's not fertile ground for comedy. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.